Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Evan and this is Sense or Sense. And today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about an experience I recently had with Fidelity Investments. I tried to open a cash management account, joint account with my wife on August 20th, 2024. And I was under the impression that that account was going to be available for me to add money, withdraw money, and utilize starting on August 28th. And it didn't work out that way. And in fact, it took me multiple phone calls, multiple dealings with a fraud department team member, and about 5 or 6 hours of my time over multiple days later on in August to be able to resolve the situation. Now, the good news is I resolved the situation and everything's good now. The bad news is I don't want you guys to go through the same thing I did. So let me jump into what exactly happened, and I want to give you all this information so that you can avoid this in the future. So I deposited money on August 20th in a joint cash management account, like I said, with my wife's name, and was told that nothing would be available until August 28th. Nothing was wrong with adding money to that account over the next 5 to 7 days. Money was not available, however, for withdrawal on the 28th as promised by Fidelity. And in fact, I waited an extra day just to make sure it wasn't something on my end, and I checked again on August 29th, and again, nothing available for me to withdraw. So I talked to an online representative at Fidelity named Tyler on the 29th, who looked into the matter, and he told me that I needed to call Fidelity to deal with it. He couldn't do anything online. So I called Fidelity, and I called my premium team at about 11:45 on August 29th and spent about 30 minutes talking to a young woman who in fact told me that restrictions had been placed on my account. She couldn't tell me why. She couldn't tell me how to lift it, but she said she was going to talk to her back office and see what she could do about it. And after about 30 minutes, she came back on the phone and she stated that the funds would be available starting on 8:30, so August 30th, the funds would be available. And that's all she'd tell me. She wouldn't tell me why it was delayed, what the problem was, if it was on my end or their end. So I just decided I'd wait until August 30th the next morning and check. So I checked my account on the morning of August 30th, and the funds were actually available for bill pay and withdrawals. Now, people don't know what this cash management account is. It's basically an account that you can put a bunch of money into. Fidelity will pay you based on a money market rate. Right now it's 4.94%, but it goes up and down based on what the current rates are. And you can pay bills out of it. So you can leave your money in there, make a good amount of cash, and then you can pay your bills directly. And it's also linked to all your Fidelity accounts. And it's a great account. It's a great feature. It's a great idea. But when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I had to call the phone number from Fidelity on the 30th, and at about 10 a.m. Central, I talked to a gentleman who stated he wanted to follow up and let me know that the restrictions had been lifted on my account. So this was on the 30th. Someone actually called me at about 10 a.m. and followed up, which I thought was great customer service. He actually called my number. I picked up. He said, "I've taken care of the situation. It was something in the back office that was a problem with your application. It threw some sort of flag that flagged your account and shut it down temporarily from withdrawing or depositing." And he said, "Rest assured, I've taken care of it. It shouldn't be a problem. This should not happen again." That was basically what he told me on August 30th. So I assumed, okay, cool, everything's great. So the next morning, I log into my Fidelity account to check some transactions I need to do. I wanted to make some bill payments. And lo and behold, not just my cash management account, but all of my Fidelity accounts are now restricted for purposes of withdrawal and deposit. And at this point, I was raging mad. I called my Fidelity premium team again that morning on August 31st, which happened to be the first morning of Labor Day weekend, which was a big problem because I talked to a rep who said there was nothing that anybody could do. Restrictions had been placed on my account through their fraud department, and their office would not be open until Tuesday, September 3rd, after the Labor Day break. Go figure that a large company like Fidelity would not have anybody available to take care of a fraud issue on their end that I have no understanding of, He wouldn't disclose any information to me. I was just up in the air, in limbo, unable to use my accounts for withdrawal or deposits for 4 days in a row. And I state to him that I want to know what is going on and why this keeps happening. His response is there's nothing more that he can share with me. I will need to, and he says I need to call back on the 3rd when the restrictions team is working. So I asked to speak to a supervisor. He transferred me over to a supervisor. And Matt, who I tell the story to for the 4th time in a few days, he says the restrictions were added on the evening of 8:30, mind you, the same day that I got a call from Fidelity saying there would be nothing more at issue. So I thought that was odd. And there was nothing more that he could do until the restriction team was back in the office on September 3rd. I stated to him that I've missed paying some bills and now my entire Fidelity series of accounts is not able to be accessed for cash withdrawal or deposit. He stated that he is not able to provide any further information. I mentioned to him that it's ridiculous that a large institution like Fidelity would not be able to help me with these restricted accounts just because it's a holiday weekend, which in course he comes back and says, too bad, kick rocks. It will be resolved. Hopefully it will be resolved quickly when they come into the office. I asked him if there was anything that Fidelity could do for me in my situation. His response was, once it was resolved, he would look into it further and decide if Fidelity could do something for me. So again, very vague, not a lot of updates. So basically that whole weekend, I just sat and waited, couldn't access my accounts. And on 9/3, September 3rd, I got a premium representative on the phone named John who I talked to and updated on everything going on with the account. He put me on hold with the fraud department, which I had to wait on hold for 40 minutes for. And after 40 minutes, I talked to a fraud prevention expert in their restrictions team. And I spoke to a Daryl there who verified of all things all he asked me for was my old address where I used to live and my father-in-law's full name. Those are the only 2 questions he wanted me to answer in order to unrestrict my accounts for withdrawals and deposits, which I thought was a very odd combination of information, considering my father-in-law has never been named in any of my accounts for purposes of depositing or anything. So once I spoke with him for a few minutes after I gave him this information, he mentioned there had been a surge in people opening joint accounts and sending money out to those accounts with using unrelated individuals. So people were opening lots of joint accounts with maybe someone that they weren't even related to and then depositing money fraudulently into those accounts and the person being able to withdraw it and take it and essentially evade the law. I'm not sure what was going on there, but they wouldn't share any additional information with me. And I told him that I'd been an account holder for almost 30 years and that I had used the same bank account for 10. I've been married to my wife for almost 10. I don't understand why these restrictions would have been a problem. Why there would have been any restrictions. And his response to me was, sorry, this is all back office proprietary information. We're not going to share this with you. This is not something that we're privy in giving out to our customers or our clients. And I thought to myself, wow, I want to make sure that my viewers out there know about something like this. You guys need to be careful. The takeaway from this is make sure you have a backup account for bill paying and make sure that you don't put all of your money into one brokerage company for purposes of trading, withdrawing, adding to, anything like that. They can lock these accounts up for any reason, and it might take you several days to get it squared away. And also, it might take you several calls. I would hate to think if someone was working, long hours as a nurse or a doctor, how they would have been able to resolve this, given the fact that I had to call back in during normal business hours on Tuesday after a holiday weekend to get this resolved. And the whole process took me many hours and multiple contacts at Fidelity to get it taken care of. So please, guys, if you set up a new account, even with a company that you're used to dealing with, make sure that you call them, talk to them, do whatever you need to make sure that there's nothing like this that happens to your new account. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. I wanted to bring you this tale today to make sure that I could try to keep you from having this happen to you. My name is Evan. This is Sense or Sense. And if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll bring more great videos to you in the very near future. I thank you guys all, each and every one of you. Bye for now.